I smell.
With 1 beer, 2 beers, 3 beers, a shot of whiskey.
Oh my God!
Hey guys, how you doing? It's RC Gade. Welcome back to Squared Circle Rants. And comparisons in wrestling go on forever. Like Dynamite Kid compared to, well, there's so many names, but Owen Hart to Bryan Danielson, MJF to Piper. And while MJF and Piper are completely different, what's the same is they garner so much heat with their words, their actions. So easy comparison to Piper at his worst versus MJF at his worst. Well, apparently there's a comparison I never really thought of, and when it was brought to my attention, I went, okay, I can see a little bit of that. And that comparison, of course, is between MJF and Alberto Del Rio, or Alberto El Patron. I don't know what he's going by now. I don't follow him. You'll see why here in a minute. But I can kind of see it. It's the brass, cocky heel. They both come out big smiles to the boos that people give them. And of course, how rich they are, the scarf. I can see it a little bit. But other than that, MJF's better. Different guys. However, a fan on Twitter made this little tweet. Corporate needs you to find the difference between this picture and this picture. They're the same picture. You know, it's an old meme. I even use it here and there. But yes, it's comparing MJF to Alberto Del Rio. There's no difference between the two. Well, MJF saw this and had his own response to it. Says, except I'm not a racist, an abuser, a bad promo, a poser, a B-word, and a drug addict, and an overrated wrestler. Wow. Shots fired. Not too surprising because it's MJF. While this article that I'm reading from, Wrestling Inc., they say it's unclear what MJF meant by referring to El Patron as racist. But the abuser and drug addiction accusations are nothing new for the former WWE star. If you don't know, El Patron has been accused of domestic violence in the past, including against MJF's current co-worker Soraya, and was even brought to charges on sexual assault, though the charges were ultimately dropped. El Patron has also been accused of using cocaine and once was suspended for violating WWE wellness policy during his second stint with the promotion. So yeah, you could say, oh, he's good friends with Soraya, but even if he's not, he makes a lot of good points. Doesn't mince words. MJF is never one to do that. But I kind of lean towards MJF. Like, I think he was shooting from the hip, going, all right, compare us all you want, but I'm not this. I've never been accused of this. I've never done that. And you can't argue. El Patron, not a good guy. Even though El Patron has done all these things or been accused of all these things, he still has employment in AAA. Despite the backlash from the announcement in the US, Triple H has shown no signs of removing El Patron. And speaking of which, who keeps booking El Patron? Who is the AAA head booker? Well, that is Conan himself, who back on January 18th, Conan defends decision to book Alberto El Patron for AAA. But Conan, who was speaking with Wrestling Inc. senior news editor Nick Hausman, AAA booker Conan attempted to clarify why felt like the right time to bring someone as polarizing as El Patron back into the promotion. He says, I correlate him with Trump. Not a good start. I think a lot of the things that Trump did were impeachable and he should have gone to jail or court or something. And he'd always gotten away with murder, right? I don't know if he did it or if he didn't do it. Now, I don't know what happened between him and Soraya, only they know. Obviously, it isn't anything good because it was a bitter separation. But he's got to live, bro, with that stigma for the rest of his life. And I'll give you an example. He told me that he had to move from his neighborhood because of other parents' kids. They didn't want to play with his kids. Everywhere he goes, he was like a hero in Mexico. And he went from a hero to a zero. Bro, you got to live with that, okay? Okay. I'm not seeing your point here. Now, how long do I keep punishing him? He's been out of the business 2 or 3 years. I spoke to him and he's told me he's changed. He sent me pictures of him in Christmas. He knows that we're taking a big chance on him and he's under a microscope and a magnifying glass at the same time. We're giving him another chance. Should you? Should you though? Everybody deserves another chance. Okie dokie. Because I can guarantee you all these virtue signalers and all these guys that like to talk about how everybody should be nice and equal, they're the biggest bullies. How long should he pay? Because I know for sure you've done something in the last few years that you'd be embarrassed if people found out about, and everybody else is okay. But we bully on this guy because he's a public figure. Yeah. But, okay, yes, I'm all for giving second chances. Third sometimes. But did he pay his dues? Has he learned from his mistakes? I mean, ultimately, we don't know. He's been off in Mexico. We don't really hear about him, know what's happening. He did have to go away for a while. He does deserve the punishment. If the accusations are true, if everything that he's done is true, he does deserve this, what do you call that, banishment in a sense. I can kind of feel for Conan saying, hey man, I'm going to give him another chance. We got him under a microscope. Okay, but I'm just not on board. I'm not on board. But he finishes off by saying, these people that have not gone to prison, obviously they're in the prison of public opinion. And obviously he was under substance abuse. He no longer is, according to him. According to him. And he says he's a changed man. I say, let's give him a chance. If he messes up, he'll never work with me again. But go ahead. Okay. Yeah, I mean, wasn't convicted. Okay, but still, it's a sticky situation. A weird hill to die on, really. But there it is, folks. The comments MJF made to Alberto El Patron, where he's been working. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Would love to hear from you. Please like, share, subscribe. Really helps me out. Helps me get more noticed. Builds my ego, man. Have a good one, guys.